This is the Awesome Matt Podcast. This is Austin.
And this is Matt.
And this week we watched The Hustle, starring Adam Sandler. Real quick, just a fast synopsis. A basketball scout discovers a phenomenal street ball player while in Spain and sees the prospect as his opportunity to get back into the NBA. And our spoil-free review today, Matt, what do you like about this movie?
I really like this movie a lot. I think first and foremost, Adam Sandler. I have believed in Adam Sandler as a dramatic force since Punch Drunk Love way back in 2004 or 5 when I first saw it. And I think since then, one of the weird things he's done is he's gone one of two directions. He has gone fully comedic, doing his Happy Madison type of stuff, and then he goes full dramatic, Reign Over Me, Meyerowitz Stories, Spanglish, and then big one, Uncut Gems. And this movie was the first that I felt like was a really good combination of the two. Whereas like we got fun Adam Sandler, who was funny, but not doing too much, but also dramatic Adam Sandler, who was like really lovable and just a powerhouse performance for sure. So, I mean, really, I think this is probably my favorite Adam Sandler movie in a long time. If Uncut Gems didn't exist, because I actually like Uncut Gems quite a bit. And speaking of liking things, I actually think I like this more than Uncut Gems, and it almost felt like the happier version of Uncut Gems, which I also appreciated, because Uncut Gems is a bit of a downer, of all being an awesome movie. I also think the relationship between Adam Sandler and the Bo Cruz character, you're gonna have to tell me his real name because you know basketball better than I do.
I can't pronounce it, to be honest. Yeah,
the Bo Cruz character.
Yeah,
I thought it was very believable. I thought that everything they did really worked. I also really enjoyed his performance. I mean, there was a point because I was pretty sure he was like a for real professional basketball player. There was one point where I was like, maybe he's not. Maybe he's actually just an actor. I thought it was so good. He really impressed me. And here's a big one too. I do not like sports movies most of the time. There's a handful of sports movies where I'm like, okay, that's just a straight out and out good movie, whether it's about sports or not. And this was a movie that it got me invested. It made me care. I got excited. It did not give into a lot of sports movies cliches, but I really, really enjoyed it. I am happy to see Adam Sandler take on any project where he is hitting that in-between ground of, hey, let's have some fun, but let's maybe take ourselves a little bit more seriously. So I'm happy to see that. Austin, what did you like about this movie?
Yes. So kind of tailoring to like who's gonna like this movie. Sports fans of NBA are definitely going to be like the main, I guess, crowd for this movie. And there is a ton of basketball cameos. Some of them most of them playing themselves, some of them playing as different characters. But as a whole, it's nice that they're there. They don't take from the movie, I guess is my favorite part about it, is that they were there. It felt like a very real space while they were there. And a lot of things were very casual, which a lot of the times when there's like a sports star that shows up in a sports movie, and there's press, there's crowd, there's cameras going on the whole time. Like that wasn't the case here. Like they were just like casually just like warming up, things like that. And it was like, yeah, like, this is like professional players. So that was really cool. Loved it. Also, this is definitely one of those stories where it's like they find like a 1 in a million talents, and they see kind of where things are going, and it's not always going to be easy. So if you are a fan of like underdog stories, this is definitely a great one in my own personal opinion. And one thing that really stands out to me about this movie versus other, I guess, sports movie types is that it's very one-on-one based. A lot of the times we're going to get movies like The Miracle or Remember the Titans, Gridiron Gang, things like that, where it's like it's a whole team trying to do something. We Are Marshall. I can't leave them out. Where it's a whole team like coming together and building themselves up. Whereas this case, it is pretty much like mano a mano, but also they have a great quote in there, which is it's just you versus you out there. And I love that because a lot of the times it really is just in your mind, getting yourself there, and it's not about your surroundings. So really for me, I'm gonna say like you're gonna love this movie if you are a fan of those other movies that I just really mentioned, but also if you are looking for something that is just a little bit more of a good buddy story, and trying to achieve some goals. But before we finish out there though, Matt, any dislikes of this movie?
I don't have a lot.
right.
I think my one dislike is this even remotely realistic, and I don't know enough about sports or basketball to know that, but there was just times where I was like, I don't know, this just seems a little bit crazy. But if I mean beyond that too, it's like, hey, it's still a great movie. I've seen a million movies that aren't realistic and they're still great. This is still great. There was those questions were like swirling through my brain at times of like, for a movie that felt very real with like the cameos and with the basketball playing, it never felt like basketball scenes that were edited together to kind of look like people were better at basketball. If you've ever seen the basketball scene in Catwoman, that's a very particular one, a very specific and probably historically the worst one. It never felt like that. For a movie that felt as real as it did, I did start to wonder if the events in it were realistic, and that took me a little bit out of the movie. But that's my only complaint. I mean, other than that, I thought this was great. I'm happy to see anything more from Adam Sandler. I will tell a little interesting tidbit that I heard about this movie.
Yeah.
When Adam Sandler was initially shopping the script around, it was going to be a basketball player from a different country. And when he took it to Netflix, they were like, we're really trying to find a way to like appeal to other subscribers in other countries. And one of the countries we're really looking for is Spain. Can the basketball player be from Spain? And he was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll make the movie. Don't know if that's true. It's just something that I heard.
Makes sense. I mean, to be honest, like Spain does actually have like a pretty good player base, at least from like what I see in like the Olympics and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's believable to me. One thing I'll add here is don't get too caught up in like the time or details of time in this movie. It kind of does this thing where like it feels like we're in a rush, but then like it takes like most of the movie for us to get through there. And it seems like we get to things faster than we should have, or some things are slower than usual. Pacing wise for the movie, they just had to do it to get things done. So don't get caught up on that. It's totally fine. It's an overall great story. And I would definitely say it is worth the watch on Netflix. What about you?
Oh, absolutely worth the watch. I hope people are giving this the attention that I think that it deserves. I will also say, and I don't think this is too spoilery, this probably has my favorite training montage of any sports movie I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
This was full on Rocky making his way up the stairs of that building. You know, like there was just moments in it that I was like, this is fantastic. I loved it. And I do, I mean, saying that too, I think choosing a real basketball player here was key because he looked like he was training for real and had the skills that a professional basketball player would have. I was so impressed. I was so happy to see that. So
yeah,
good for him. Good movie. Good for Netflix.